Hello and welcome to Crochet Moments episode 37. I did just check on my on my YouTube app. I'm Helen and I am a knitter and crocheter from Leicester in the UK, and I would like to start this video by saying firstly, welcome to all my new subscribers. Since my last video, which was me in isolation, and I'll get to that in a minute, I've had a number of subscribers. I don't know where they're coming from. So if you are one of those new subscribers, I've had about 20 or so drop on. Please let me know if you came to me from another video recommending me, because I'd love to go check them out. So yes, my last video, Crocheter in Isolation, that was Simon's idea, the title. I normally podcast every 2 weeks. My last podcast I was unable to do because I was isolating because I had COVID. Thankfully, I didn't get too poorly. I did find myself getting out of breath quite easily in the first few days, but it was mostly just like a mild cold for me. So I got lots of crafting done, although I did eventually get bored. So I tested positive on the Friday morning, about 2 weeks ago now, 3 weeks ago. And I thought, I'm going to get all this time, because Simon and the girls tested negative throughout. So we maintained a strict isolation whereby I was pretty much locked in my bedroom until I tested negative for COVID, which thankfully I was able to come out of isolation on the 7 days. I didn't have to stay in for 10. And I thought that first day, I'm going to get so much done. I'm going to get lots of crochet, lots of knitting. I'm going to finish lots of things. I'm going to get lots of Netflix watched and all my other things that I watch on BBC iPlayer and things like that. Halfway through the second day, I was bored to tears, literally to tears at times. I didn't really bank on just how lonely it would feel. I was in the house and I couldn't hug my girls and things like that. So but thank you for all the lovely messages on Instagram and comments on my last video, my little vlog, my isolation vlog. Everything, it's been really nice having people interact with me, check that I'm okay and things like that. So thank you. Now, I've got a lot to talk about and not a huge amount of space on the memory card. So I do apologise if I end up whizzing through this. I've got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time to do it in. So I'm going to start off with my finished objects. Yes, there was an S at the end of there. I have 5 finished objects, and not a single one of them is a whip that you would have seen, because they were all new starts. I've basically took the decision during my isolation, as I'd sorted my yarn corner out and my shelves, that if I had the yarn and it was already kitted up, it was going into my decision wheel and I was going to start it. There were a couple of things that I started because I wanted to. I was bored with working on everything that I'd already worked on. And so, yeah. So the first finished object I have to show is, so this is my isolation project. I spent 2.5 days working on this solidly. It is the Hogwarts poncho. Oh, I have no idea the best way of showing this. I might actually see if I can get Simon to take a photograph of Katherine wearing it. So this is for Katherine, and float it around somewhere around my head. So it's got this huge, ginormous hood. And it's a sleeved poncho. So it's just got these little sleeves here. And Katherine loves it. She loves it so much. It weighs a ton. So let's just show you. So this is from my Harry Potter Crochet Wizardry. And here is the pattern. So it's designed by Lee Sartori. I'm not happy with the way mine sits on Katherine shape wise. I think I possibly could have gone up a size for her, but I was almost running out of yarn on this. So the hood is really heavy. The hood took, I would say, somewhere in the region of 400 to 500 meters of yarn just for the hood. The hood took the most time out of the whole crochet session for this. I did trim it with a cream. Now this is new yarn as well. I ordered a little bit of retail therapy. I'm feeling sorry for myself. I ordered some yarn from Hobbycraft and this is the Women's Institute Tweed Aran. I can't remember what the colour name is, but I talk about that in my crochet in isolation video. And this took almost 2 ginormous balls, so they are 660 meters a ball. I very nearly ran out of yarn. So I've got this one, I've got 2 balls of the blue and I bought one for the cream because they were 3 for 2, so why not? So there's that finished object. And I will still need this because my next 2 finished objects are from this book too. I've made a rather nice hat. Let's get this the right way around. I love this hat so much. This hat is just, oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. This is the Godric's hollow hat, which is here, and I think there's a there's a better picture. I don't want to show in the pattern. It's a slightly better picture there. And the yarn I used for this is my Christmas yarn from Emily. So here it is. It's a really lovely stitch pattern. And I just love how it looks, and it could almost be reversible. So this is what it looks like inside out. And I love that texture too. So the yarn is Woolly Mama Yarns, and it was copper patina. I've lost the label for the yarn. One thing I do have to say about this pattern though, I had to go up. Oh crikey, I've messed my hair up. I had to go up. How many hook sizes do I have to go up? At least 1 hook size. So the pattern says that it requires a 4mm hook to do the brim, this ribbing here. Well, I chained and I did the ribbing and it would have fit Emily. So I did the whole thing in a 5mm hook. So this is a DK weight yarn. I think, if my memory serves right, it's a 75-25 superwash merino nylon mix. I just love it so much. And Katherine loved it so much too. So I made her one. This, I did this one in a 4.5mm hook, so it would just size down a little bit more. And it's just, the yarn is amazing. Now here is the yarn band for it. So this is the You and Me by Starcraft. Oh, double knitting. Let's hide my eyes so it focuses on that. And it is an 80% premium acrylic, 20% cashmere effect polyamide. There's 205 meters on a ball of this, and this colourway is Grace, and it's so pretty. I love how the colours come up as it goes through. So this is, and you'll see on my next project that this is actually quite a striping, self-striping yarn. But in the stitch, the crochet stitch, I just like the way the colours have pulled. And Katherine loves this hat. She loves the hat that she made, but it's not quite long enough to cover her ears. And she wanted a hat to cover her ears. So I made this for her. So that's that one. And she wanted some mittens. So I did make her some fingerless mitts, which she does wear, but she's a little too cold for her. So I made just some simple knitted mittens. Now, they are a little, hairs on them, a little bit different, and I don't know whether or not I should try and undo this. So let me just explain about the pattern first. I'm not going to have enough time to show you everything today. So in my mum's stash, I found this. Now, it's not like I found it and thought, oh, I didn't know I had that. I've been aware of it since I've had my mum's things, but I hadn't really looked at it properly. And I'm really tempted to try and work my way through this book. This is a book that was published in 1965. I think if you can see that. So 1965. It's a few years older than me, and there are no photos. They're all drawings. So I followed the mitts pattern that's in here, and it's just lovely reading a pattern. In these days, I think a lot is assumed in the abilities of the knitter. There's not a lot of explanation, even in a book which seems to be aimed at beginners. So I'm really looking forward to trying some more things out of here. And there's loads of hints and tips at the start. I just love the old-fashioned drawings and even the charts. So there's some Fair Isle patterns in here. So there's a Fair Isle jumper. So they're all like the handwritten charts. I love this book so much, and there are so many classic shapes. I mean, just look at that sweater there. I need to make that. That is so. Some of the styles in here are so in style, fashion now. So I'm going to start in the classics for women section when I do decide to. I need to get a few of my whips out of the way first. And it's going to start with a twin set. So a t-shirt and a cardigan. So this is done in 4-ply. So the t-shirt I might even do in some of my fancy stuff. But anyway, projects for the future for that one. So those are Katherine's mittens. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. What did I do with my hat? Oh, it'll be around somewhere. Well, it's fallen on the floor. So that's 4. And the 5th is, well, Emily wanted to get in on the act. She wanted a hat. She did also say she wanted some mittens, but I haven't made her any mittens. I could not find a pattern I was happy with for her hand size. And she never keeps her gloves on anyway. So she's more likely to keep a hat on than gloves. So I've just made her a hat. So this is a crocheted hat with a daisy motif on the top. And this is from this book. Now this book is something I bought from a sale, a yarn shop was going out of business, sadly, and so she was selling these books. I think I paid about £1 for it, and these books are usually somewhere in the region of £5. Now, one thing to say about this. This is a book for 4-ply yarn. I followed the instructions. Although I used a DK weight yarn, and I think I used a 3.5mm hook. This, if I'd done it in 4-ply, would not have fit Emily. I did this to the size for her. I did the, did I do the 4 to 5? I did the 6 to 7 actually, so I did the largest size. And it's a snug fit. It fits her. It's a snug fit. So I can only imagine just how much smaller that would have been if it was done in 4-ply. What I do love about this yarn, so this is the same yarn, Emily wanted the same colours. I love the stitch definition that you get with this yarn. It's just absolutely amazing. It's definitely, for me, I loved crocheting with it. It was a little bit splitty to crochet with, but I feel that the stitches have got a really lovely definition to them. So the knitted stitches, these have been well worn already, but even on the knitting, it's just got a really lovely definition to the stitches. Excuse my slightly dodgy tension going on there. But yes, I just love these. So I was going to talk about this, wasn't I? So in the pattern book, I followed the grafting instructions and ended up with this kind of a finish on. Why is that not focusing? Ugh. There you go. So it's got a bit of a ridge to it. And I didn't like that. So I had to go at doing a Kitchener grafting on the other one, which is much better. Oh, there we are. Simon's been using his camera too. He's been trying to do some video reviews for some things he'd been buying from Amazon, so the focusing isn't going the same way. So yes, I would definitely recommend that yarn. Where's my yarn band gone? I had the yarn band a minute. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so this is, just to remind you, You and Me by Stylecraft. It's a fairly inexpensive yarn. It's about £3.50 for a 100 gram ball. I bought it from Deramores when it first came out, and I was determined to have a go at it. And now I've knit and crocheted with it, I want to use it some more. So as I work down my stash and I'm allowed to start replenishing, I will certainly strongly consider adding some of this to my stash. Okay, so yes, I just did want to quickly mention, let's get the hook out. I used my Knit Pro Ginger. So those of you who watched my I think it would have been one of my videos around Christmas, I bought a mystery pack of hooks and needles, and this was one of the hooks that I got. It was a Ginger Knit Pro wooden hook. I used that on the poncho and I loved it. It was a dream to crochet with. It takes some getting used to because it's a slightly different head to the ones that I usually use. So it's yes, as opposed to that sort of head. I think these are tapered and these are inline. I actually sound like I know what I'm talking about, don't I? Okay, so those are my finishes. and I've already used up 20 minutes of the 55 minutes I have on the memory card. So next, whips. Let's talk Enigma. This was, I do have ends still to work in, and I haven't sewn any of the flowers on. But I have finished, apart from the ends and the sewing on of the flowers, the part, I can't remember what part number I'm on. Let's check my book. I am part 10. So this is a crochet along from the Crochet Now magazine that has been designed by Esther of It's All in a Nutshell. We'll just stand up so you can see more of the blanket. So as you can see, floppy flowers because they haven't been sewn on. It's getting really big now. And these flowers were a torture that felt like it would never end. It really was. I had to make 48 of these little flowers. They are 2 rounds per flower, but those 2 rounds times 48 felt like forever and ever and ever. That was my first isolation work done. So I do need to get round to sewing those flowers on because my next issue with part 11 will be out, I think it's next week. My Knit Now magazine's usually out by now. It's in the shops apparently. I've seen them advertising it, but it's not in my home. I'm hoping it arrives tomorrow. So my next work in progress is my Advent shawl. And this is getting rather large. So I got a yarn advent calendar from Yarn for the Soul. And I love these colours so much. And I have been working it. So the first 24 stripes, which is up to here, this stripe here, I did every day during Vlogmas. So all of that was done during December. So everything beyond that is what I've done since. Things are getting slower because obviously we're getting quite wide now. This is, I'm loving it. I really do enjoy working on it when I spin it. So this is, I'm assuming it's this sort of orientation to be wearing. So as you can see, it's already quite wide for wearing. And I love it so much. I could stop there if I wanted to, but I'm just going to keep going until I run out of yarn. So it could end up a schlanket, which is a shawl blanket. So my main colour is from Attic Spin Dye. And this colour is Mist. So this is all fingering weight yarn. And let me show you the absolute rainbow that I have in here. So these are all of the yarns all laid out in the order that they came, that I opened them. And they're lovely, absolutely lovely. I've kept in all my little bits. Oh, I think I've already put stitch markers in here. Oh yes, so in here I've got my little stitch markers that I got with the Advent, along with the beads and buttons and things. So yes, I'm really enjoying that. So the pattern is the Painting Honeycombs by Stephen West. It's a paid for pattern and it's very easy. It's a 10-row repeat essentially. It's more like a 20-row because it's two slightly different, it's like 2 rows of honeycombs and you alternate them basically. Anyway, it's really, really easy, and I would recommend it to anybody who is just starting out and wants to try it. You don't have to use fancy expensive yarn. It works just as well with acrylic DK. I did a very small swatch just to practice, just so that I could get a feel for the pattern before I finalised my decision and bought yarn for the main colour prior to receiving and opening my advent. So that's that. So I've got 30 minutes to get through the rest of what I've got to talk about, so I best get quick. So next whip is a crochet whip, and it's living in my Emma ball bag. I don't have lots of proper project bags. We'll have to wait and see if I can get around. So I have a lot of these canvas totes which work just as well, but I like a proper project bag. So this is my Portobello Road shawl. Now Melissa's Knit and Crochet Spot is much further along on this than I am, but it's not a race. I am using my yarn mixology bobble, and its colourway is Bramble Bush. Now this yarn maker, she winds the colours up herself. She does all different colourways, and this colourway is amazing. The one, and I've got a berries and green one upstairs that I'm dying to use, but I haven't decided what to use it for yet. This one is it's a 900 metre bobble, so I don't know if I'm going to have enough yarn to finish this properly with all the right edging, but I don't care. I'm enjoying myself making this. So this is the start edge, and the colour changes a thread at a time as it gets lighter, and then we start turning into the green, and now I'm into a section where there's no green, no red, purple left. I'm into the proper green, and that is where I was the last time I showed this. So I've basically barely done one repeat. This was a project which I did work a little bit on while I was in isolation, but I just couldn't settle to anything while I was locked away in my dungeon. So I think that's why I had decided just to start a couple of new things and work on that, just because for me that made sense, so that at least my hands were being kept busy. I'm just going to find the pattern. It is Portobello Road. So this is designed by Titti Stenke. I'm probably completely murdering her name. There is the pattern. It's really, really nice. Absolutely in love with the shawl, and it will make a lovely wrap to have across my shoulders, maybe in the summer, in the evenings, if I sit out in the garden. Certainly Simon and I would like to get into the garden a little bit more this summer, if we get the chance, or even camping. That would be good too. Next project, I've got a couple more projects. Oh, I might be okay. So this one, I was quite excited to get to the stage that I've got on this one. This is my Sirdar Jewelspun sweater, and I finished the body. Next time this comes up on my decision wheel, I will be on the sleeves. I'm on the homeward stretch. So I've just got the sleeves and the rib at the neckline to do. And here it is. So I'm glad that I have the extra ball. So I have this much left of my second ball. Now the pattern does say only need 2 balls of this to make this sweater, but I made it longer than the pattern. I like my jumpers to just sort of sit on the hip just there, so I don't know, but the last ball seemed to go on forever. It was like a TARDIS of yarn. So this is the full ball out to compare sizes. Oh gosh, the band's coming off that one. So here is a full ball compared to where I am now. So I might be able to squeeze 2 sleeves out of that, but I don't know if I'd have enough of the neckline as well. So here it is, the Jewelspun Aran, and it is 100% acrylic. This is shade 847, Midnight Fjords. And I love this colour so much. I need more things in this colour, for definite. Right, let's try and get this the right way round. Okay, here it is. I just love it so much. So, whoop, falling down. Right, there's the sweater, and I just love how the colours work, and it just, so there we go. So it just sits where I want it to, and I didn't try it on until I cast off. So I just kept measuring down the side of my body and then measuring from the bottom of the armhole to where I wanted, and I got there. And I just really like this, the simple cable twist of the neckline, and it's knit in the round, so there's no seaming. There's going to be the only sewing involved in the whole project has been just joining on these, and I think I might want to look into a provisional cast on for the next time I do something like this, so that I can look at grafting the stitches together rather than just sewing them. I mean, it's not a terribly visible join there, but I just like it to have it a little flatter, I think. So that's that sweater. Pop my yarn back in the bag. With my pattern. Okay, so the next few projects that I have to show are all new starts. So I'm going to start with the new start I am most excited about working on. Oh, I've got an eyelash in my eye. So regular viewers of my channel, this book is so heavy, will probably remember me getting the second Harry Potter knitting book. There are many projects in here that I want to work on, but for now I am working on a Christmas tree skirt. It is, so it's all cables and lace with some beads, and I've never knit with beads before, so that's going to be an experience. Oh, there goes my written instructions. So this is a charted pattern, but at the moment, because I'm working on 400 or so stitches, I'm writing the rows out, plus there's quite a lot of cabling involved in the early rows, so I want to take care of that. So let's so the green is I've used my leftover yarn from my Outpost jumper. I have all of this left from the second ball, I think it was, that I used. So I've got all of that and this massive ball of cream that I found in my stash. Now this is the yarn I bought for this, but I thought I might as well use the yarn in my stash for now. And it's a fairly, there is a slight difference in colour, but this should be enough to get me to the end, so I can use that for something else. And I haven't got a huge amount done, but it is so big. I'm not quite sure how you're really going to see what I've done. So I've done the rib, so 2x2 rib over that many stitches. Took forever, even though there's only about 8 rows there. So we've got all the cable starting to show, and it's really hard because of the way the stitches are all bunched up to show. But I've got stitch markers in at all of the repeats to keep me on track. So I am a few rows away from the first decrease in the pattern, which I can't wait for, to be honest, to start reducing those stitches a little bit all the time. Now, I bought, so I did buy some new needles. So I got a 120 centimetre 5mm, which is for the main body of the tree skirt, and and these are the Knit Pro Novas. I quite like these for sort of slightly delicate knitting. Not that this is Aran weight yarn, but it's not terribly delicate, but it's got, with the lace and the cables, these are slightly pointier than my things. And I bought beads. Now I have not got the card that the company I bought these from. So these are all of the white beads that I'm going to need for the, where are they? So they're a little, it's almost like snowflakes, and there will be some of those in there. So there's about 600 beads in there, and then the green ones for the sort of slightly Christmas tree shaped things, and the eyes of the owls. This was little bead company in Nottingham, which isn't too far away from Leicester. Really good delivery, very good prices. I'll definitely link them below once I've found the information for them. What have I done with that little bag? There it is. So yeah, so I will definitely leave the information in the description box below for these, because if you need beads, there's a lot to choose from. So there's a real chance that they will have what you're looking for. So, oh, hair going in my mouth. Okay, oh gosh. This is a bit of a nightmare. It's just running away from me, as is my time. Okay, so my next new start is a new start from last week. I was browsing Instagram and came across a company called Expression Fibre Arts, and she was putting out some free patterns. So I was like, oh, free patterns, let's head over and have a look. So she drew me in with, where is it? Let's get that pattern up. With this beautiful jumper. So this is called Pebbled. So she drew me in with that. And it is currently still free. But it's free for a limited time. I'm not quite sure what date that she will be putting a price on these, but her paid for patterns aren't terribly expensive. And as I was browsing, I thought, let's have a look. I noticed she's got a make-along. I thought, oh, I like make-alongs, and this is a knit-along, and even better, it's a mystery knit-along. I love the idea of not knowing what I'm going to have at the end. So you don't even really know what colours you're going to start with. So we've got, she gives the first 2 colours. So the first colour is a bluey colour. Obviously I'm not going to use Cool Full yarn, I'm going to stash dive, because 2022 is the year of Helen using her stash to the best that she can. So I've got loads of this royal blue colour. And the second colour has purple tones to it, so I've decided to use some of my grape from my Aldi stash. I may have to buy some more Aldi yarn. I do like the Aldi yarn. It's great for blankets and stuff because it's so cheap. Blankets use so much yarn. So this is Clue 1. Now this is going to go onto a circular needle. I'm going to transfer my other project that is sat on my circular 4.5s, and I'm going to put this on there instead. Actually, I've got those 4.5s in there. I could use those. So this is the first month. So it's going to be a section a month, and it's going to be different stitch patterns as you move up the blanket. That's as much information as you get. It is going to be worked, I believe, all in one go as a rectangle. So obviously when I get to corners I'll start decreasing. This was really, really quick and easy work, so I really enjoyed doing that. There was very little thinking needed, and nobody showed up for my knitting lessons last week, so I got to sit and work on that instead for a couple of hours. Because I do 2 1-hour slots, I couldn't leave until nobody was definitely not coming on the second hour. So there's that new start. And my last new start is my cotton top. This is from one of my, I don't know if it's one of my old copies or one of my mum's old copies of Simply Knitting. June 2015. So it's 7 years old, this pattern. And here it is. It's a coral reef sweater, and it is designed by Menchini, and I've already bungled it a little bit, but I'm going to ignore that. So here it is so far. Oh, there's my row count. I've got into these little row counters. Oops. I've dropped it. Anyway, I bought a whole load. So I bought a whole load of them to use. They're great for keeping track of my rows. So I'm always losing bits of paper, as these I can keep with project, stick them on the needle when I'm done. I need to go find that one. But here is the pattern so far. So I'm a little way on this. I'll be working on this tonight, and then I'm back on to my Portobello Road tomorrow. So I am using the Knitcraft Cotton Blend Plain. So they have the cotton blend, they come in sort of stripes and funny colours and things like that. So that is that. Now I need to rush the next bit, which is annoying because there is a giveaway. I'm going to start with the giveaway, because if I run out of time, I can show other things on another channel, on another episode, but I haven't got lots to show actually on my incoming. So incoming Hobbycraft. Already shown you the yarn. This is Aran, 100% acrylic. We all know. It's 660 metres, Women's Institute. On Hobbycraft in the UK, it is 3 balls for the price of 2. So I got that for free. For free delivery, I needed to spend about £3, and I did not want to buy more yarn. I know, I didn't want to buy more yarn. But so I had to look at the patterns. Their crochet patterns, I don't find they have much variety, but I found some knitting patterns that I liked. So I bought the James C. Brett pattern. I love this jumper. That's really nice. And the yarn shop that I do knitting lessons for sells the yarn that this is made in. So I will be buying from there, supporting my local shop. And then I ordered, now a friend of mine noticed this as she was looking at things for herself on Hobbycraft. She likes sewing little things, and she knows I knit, so she sometimes looks at the patterns to see if there's anything that she can ask me to make for her. And she came across this. Now she loves this pattern a lot, so I thought, I'm going to buy this and I'll make it for her. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I will be using all of the called for yarn because it's made with a Knitcraft yarn, which isn't massively expensive. So that's what I'll do. Now I ordered 1 pattern, but I got 3. 3 patterns were sent to me. So that's mine. Now I emailed Hobbycraft and I said, hello Hobbycraft, you sent me 2 extra patterns. What would you like me to do with them? Expecting them to say, can you please post them back? But they said, if I was not able to find a loving home for them, I can drop them back at the Hobbycraft store. I wasn't charged for them. So I didn't need a refund, but they said, if you have a friend who may be interested, give them to a friend. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have 2 patterns up for grabs. This is obviously knitting, so obviously knitters, please feel free to join in. Crocheters, if you want to have a go at knitting and feel brave enough to have a go at colour work, then you can join in too. So what can we do to have this? So if you want this, you need to comment below, and in your comment I would like you to mention the word birthday. Now the reason I would like you to mention the word birthday is I need your help. It's my birthday soon. I will be 40. And Simon, my darling husband, has said that the birthday budget is a little bit more than it normally is. So, if you had £100 to spend on anything you wanted, what would you buy? So, in the comments, use the word birthday. That will enter you for one of 2 of these. It's open to subscribers only, so please be subscribing, and please have your subscription settings to public so I can check. Obviously, long-time subscribers, I'll know who you are if you're the winner, because I'll know even if you're not public on your subscriptions, I will be aware of you. Especially those that are regular commenters. So mention the word birthday and please tell me what I should ask for my birthday. Now, yarn isn't obvious. I would like some yarn. Let's not tell any lies. Helen loves yarn. Helen would love lots of yarn. But I have lots of yarn and I am starting to panic that I'm never going to get to use it all up because I've just got so much. I'm open to yarn suggestions, so if you do have any sort of like knitting or crochet kits that you could recommend, by all means pop those in the comments along with the word birthday. And this will be open for 2 weeks, so I shall close it on Friday I think it's the 11th. Friday the 11th of February. That is when I'll be filming my next video, and I will draw the 2 winners then. And by then I will hopefully have a decent sized Christmas list. So I am really running out of time on my memory card, so I'm not going to be able to give the time to do justice to my other incoming. So I will have to, what will I have to do? I will save it for next time. That's what I will do, because the yarn I have to show you is so beautiful that it needs its own little, it practically needs a whole episode, but there's not enough of it there to do that. So I think I'm going to sign off now, as I am getting very thirsty and I'm going to make myself a drink. And I will see everybody in a couple of weeks. Don't forget those comments. Don't forget to use the word birthday. And I need to remember to say that you need to be 18 years or over so that you can share your address with me. And what else? Yes. Oh, and if you are abroad, you will be liable for any customs charges, although there's little to no value of the pattern really. I think they cost about £3 to buy. So anyway, that's me done, because I'm running out of time. So I will see you soon, and happy crafting, and let's see if I can get some finished objects for next time. Bye.